Well, howdy, y'all. Welcome on in. Make yourselves comfortable. I'm just tickled pink you decided to stop by. My name's Whitney, though some folks call me Miss Wit, especially the younger ones. It's a pleasure to meet each and every one of you. And I've been married 10 years, a whole decade, to a man who, bless his heart, thinks multiple sclerosis is just a fancy way of saying lazy. He doesn't quite grasp the gravity of it all, you see. He sees me on this old floral sofa, the one my grandma left me, and figures I'm just admiring the dust bunnies, maybe even considering giving them names. He doesn't realize, not fighting a war inside my own body, a battle that wages every single minute of every single day. It's a war against fatigue, against pain, against a body that sometimes feels like it's betraying me. 4 years ago, after countless appointments and tests, the doctor finally gave my fatigue and wobbly legs a name, a label, if you will, for the invisible struggle I'd been facing. Relapsing remitting MS, multiple sclerosis. It sounded so official, so permanent. At first, bless his heart, my husband was all sweet tea and sympathy, bringing me magazines and fluffing my pillows. He was a regular Florence Nightingale, or at least his version of one. But that soured quick. The sweet tea turned bitter, the sympathy dried up like a summer creek. Now he just sees a wife who's mastered the art of the strategic sit-down. I've become a master strategist, planning my day around where I can conveniently rest my weary bones. The kids get it more than he does. My youngest, Maybelle, bless her heart, pats my leg and asks if it's a prickly day. She understands the language of my body better than her own father does. My husband? He thinks I can just top off my energy like his pickup at the gas station. A quick fill-up and I should be good to go, according to him. Meanwhile, he comes home from work, plops in his recliner, kicks up his feet, and acts like I've been loafing all day, like I've been spending my time doing nothing but eating bonbons and watching soap operas. So pull up a chair, grab a sweet tea extra sugar if you please, and let me tell you about the time my own husband, the man I vowed to spend my life with, accused me of faking it for attention. You won't believe the audacity. I remember when we first got married, young, broke, and happy in a tiny apartment above the hardware store. He'd swing me around the kitchen and we'd burn dinner laughing. Back then, my body was my friend and we were a team. He used to say I was the strongest woman he'd ever known. Even when the first symptoms crept in, he was my rock, taking the kids out so I could rest, holding my hand at the doctor's. But sickness that lingers changes people. The man who once admired my strength now keeps score. The hands that rubbed my tired feet now point to the laundry pile. It's a slow fade. You wake up one day and barely recognize the life you built together. And you wonder if you can ever get the color back. The diagnosis was a relief. Finally, proof I wasn't just stressed. My husband was a champion at first, reading every pamphlet, coming to every appointment. He slept in hospital chairs and brought me milkshakes during my first big relapse. But chronic illness isn't a sprint, it's a marathon with no finish line. The casseroles stop, the phone calls fade, and patience wears thin. My relapses became less dramatic, just a slow, heavy fatigue and brain fog. That's when his support curdled. He stopped asking how I felt and started asking what I did all day. The hero who once fought for me became the prosecutor, building a case against me. And the main evidence, me on the couch, looking fine on the outside while a war raged inside. Invisible illness is a lonely battlefield. Last spring, as the world outside was bursting with new life and vibrant energy, our household was bracing for a different kind of explosion. It wasn't the good kind, filled with laughter and sunshine. No, this was the kind that simmers beneath the surface, threatening to erupt over something as seemingly innocuous as a couch. We had the Great Couch Caper. It sounds ridiculous, I know. A caper conjures images of daring heists and elaborate schemes. But trust me, the emotional fallout from this particular incident was anything but lighthearted. It was a clash of perspectives, a battleground of unspoken expectations, all centered around that one unassuming piece of furniture in our living room. It was a Tuesday, my worst day. Tuesdays have always been my nemesis. The kids are back in the full swing of the school week. Extracurricular activities are ramping up, and the general chaos of family life seems to reach its peak. It's the day I feel most stretched, most depleted, and most in need of a moment's peace. I got the kids to school, navigating the usual morning mayhem of lost shoes, forgotten lunches, and last-minute homework panics. The school drop-off line was a symphony of honking horns and stressed-out parents, each just trying to get through the morning rush, and collapsed on the couch, just trying to recharge. I sank into the cushions, the floral pattern mocking my utter lack of energy. I closed my eyes, hoping for just a few minutes of blissful nothingness before the next wave of responsibilities crashed over me. My husband came home for lunch, a rare occurrence that usually brought a brief respite to my day. But this time it felt more like an inspection. Saw me horizontal and let out a sigh that could peel paint. It was a sigh laden with judgment, a sigh that spoke volumes about his perception of my day and my efforts. It was a sigh that instantly deflated any hope of a peaceful interlude. He made his sandwich like he was forging steel, each movement sharp and deliberate, the sounds amplified in the suddenly tense atmosphere. The lettuce crunched with undue force, the knife scraped against the cutting board with an aggressive rhythm, then left in silence. The silence was deafening, a heavy blanket smothering the room. It was a silence filled with unspoken accusations and simmering resentment. That night he finally muttered, "Must be nice," to just lay around all day. The words hung in the air, dripping with sarcasm and a complete lack of understanding. It was a verbal jab, a dismissive comment that minimized my efforts and invalidated my exhaustion. I told him I'd wrangled his kids and felt like I'd been hit by a truck. I tried to explain the mental and physical toll of managing a household, the constant demands and the never-ending to-do list. He scoffed. "You always have an excuse. A normal person would just push through." His words were like a slap in the face, dismissing my reality and implying that I was somehow weak or deficient. I wanted to scream, to unleash all the pent-up frustration and exhaustion that had been building inside me. But instead, I said, "Darlin', if you think this is taking it easy, I'd love for you to try it for a day. I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat." I offered a challenge, a chance for him to experience firsthand the demands of my daily life. He just turned up the TV. He retreated into the flickering screen, shutting down any possibility of meaningful conversation or understanding. The caper was closed, and I was found guilty of being chronically ill. The verdict was in, and I was once again reminded that my invisible illness was not only misunderstood, but also judged. Some days, that's the only verdict I get. And on those days, the couch feels less like a place of rest and more like a symbol of my isolation. All right, hold up a second. Let's just pause the pity party for a brief interlude. We need to take a quick commercial break, and by commercial break, I mean a heartfelt plea from yours truly. If you've ever felt the sting of being called lazy, unmotivated, or any other dismissive term, simply for trying to navigate life while battling an invisible illness, then please hit that subscribe button. Let's build a community of understanding and support. And while you're at it, give this video a thumbs up. It's a small gesture that makes a big difference in helping others find our little corner of the internet. Consider this a virtual high five for everyone out there tirelessly explaining the complexities of invisible illness to those who just don't seem to grasp it. You are seen, you are heard, and your efforts are appreciated. Every like, every comment, every share helps someone else stumble upon this little corner of the internet where we can laugh, support each other, and maybe, just maybe, cry a little less. This is more than just me complaining about my husband and his, shall we say, approach to medical research. It's a community. A place where we can share our experiences, offer encouragement, and know that we're not alone in this crazy journey. For all my fellow MS warriors and anyone else battling a chronic condition, remember, we're in this together. We lift each other up, we share our tips and tricks, and we celebrate the small victories. So hit subscribe, ring the bell, and join the notification squad. That way you'll never miss a new video, a new rant, or a new opportunity to connect with this amazing community. And please leave a comment with the most ridiculous, outrageous, or just plain absurd thing someone has ever said about your illness. Let's share the absurdity and find some humor in it all. We're building a family here. A digital family perhaps, but a family nonetheless. Now where were we? Ah yes, the saga of my husband's self-proclaimed medical expertise. Oh right, my husband's about to get his medical degree from the prestigious University of Google, with a minor in WebMD and a concentration in questionable health blogs. Stick around, it's a doozy. You won't want to miss this train wreck. I mean, insightful exploration of alternative medical perspectives. There's no expert more confident than a husband with a smartphone. After my diagnosis, he dove into research. At first it was sweet, but soon he was quoting forums and wild theories, looking for proof my illness wasn't real. According to what I've read, became his favorite phrase, launching into half-baked cures and blaming me for not trying hard enough. He became an expert in my condition without living a second of it. Every answer pointed a finger at me. Living with MS is like conducting an orchestra where every instrument's out of tune and I'm the only one who hears it. My husband just sees me sitting still and thinks nothing's wrong. He doesn't feel the tingling, the fatigue, the brain fog, or the vertigo. I've tried to explain, but he measures my health by what he can see. If I'm not limping, I must be fine. He's waiting for a crash of cymbals, but my illness is a quiet violin only I can hear. And it never, ever stops. Humor is my shield, it's how I survive. When my husband gives me that lazy look, I just smile and say, I'm in energy saver mode, it's eco-friendly. The other day, he pointed at a cobweb and I said, that's Charlotte, our web developer. She's the only one working quietly around here. My kids are picking up on it too. My oldest told his dad, Mama's immune system is attacking her nerves. What's your excuse? It's not about being mean. It's about reclaiming a little power. This disease can take a lot, but it can't take my spirit unless I let it. My wit is my therapy, and sometimes a comeback is the best medicine. It's a whole lot cheaper than the professional kind. Last week, the laundry pile in our bedroom became a monument to my limits and my husband's blindness. I'd washed and dried everything, but folding was a mountain I couldn't climb. He saw it as a personal insult and finally snapped, I need a partner, not another child to take care of. All his doubt and accusations crashed down in that moment. The bare minimum, he called it, as if fighting my own body wasn't a full-time job. I looked at him, the laundry, and the door, and for the first time I felt a different kind of energy.